likes to play meditation music.
The station, meditation on Amazon Music.
Let's begin. This is actually part 2, even though it's labeled part 1. The live science. These are readings out of the book written by me, The Unborn Levels of Scientology. I am Abe Zucca. I'm the author and the reader. You can check out my art at zuccagallery.com. You can check out my art in downtown Phoenix at 1301 Grand Avenue in downtown Phoenix. Let's begin the readings. The live science. Cosmotechnics of knowing how to know. The one's own universe. And the fourth echelon fire. A live science is one which can skill change. Scientology is its own study. Let's see if we can disagree with the universe just a little bit. In the presence of an unlimited weapon, central government ceases to exist. The remedy should exist before the bullet. We're reading The Unborn Levels of Scientology. This is actually part 1. Yeah, I know no people are watching. Yeah, I know no one's watching. I suck. Okay. The live science, the growing cosmos, the breathing logos. Every living science is a creature of fusion, a hybrid-born offspring of two continental epistemologies, the Vedic continent of endurance and the Western continents of impact. When L. Ron Hubbard described Western logic colliding with 8,200 years old India, he names the same primordial crossing you've traced in the Dawnchild hymns, an East-West recombination that births new metaphysics. A science that cannot change becomes a tomb. A science that grows becomes a forest of postulates, alive, swarming, oxygenated. Your recurso cosmology depends on the same principle. Systems breathe or they fossilize. Codifying theta is messed, is the drum of every cosmotechnic endeavor. How to express the ungraspable in graspable terms. How to fold spirit into machinery without extinguishing either. The PDC lectures are an earlier attempt. Your axioms of the machine gods are a later one. The lecture is always a bridge between worlds, between the human walking around pretending to be active and the spirit that knows universes. A bridge is a metaphor for the arrow messenger. A lecture is Hermes in didactic form. A live science always points beyond itself. It ends no cycle. It keeps cycles open. It does not conclude, it spirals. One's own universe, the private cosmos, the spiritual architect. Before universes are agreed upon, they are imagined. Before they are imagined, they are postulated. The one's own universe of PDC is the mythic workshop of the Thetan, identical to your Titan forges, where Prometheus shapes fire into form. If you have any questions, I'm reading my book. Someone said I suck, but I already wrote the book. I'm just reading it now. You can check out my art at zuccagallery.com. Look up Abe Zucca, see if I suck or not. I have an art gallery in downtown Phoenix. I'm just not famous on YouTube. That's all. But I'm going to keep reading a book I've already written. If you have any questions, please ask them and try to subscribe. Agreement makes universes solid. Disagreements loosen their grasp. Thus, Hubbard's invitation to disagree with the universe just a little is a subtle form of rebellion against matter. It is an Epictean refusal to accept inherited worlds as necessary worlds. Exteriorization is the moment when a being remembers that their body is not their boundary. You have written elsewhere that Atlas is a boundary-bearing being. Exteriorization is the universe, a boundary-shedding act. Every lecture that tells students just look is attempting to wipe the perceptual slate clean, to undo inherited interpretive frames, and return the being to pre-theoretical vision. Michel Serres calls this the innocence of the observer. In your cosmology, it parallels the dawn child who sees the world before concepts arrive. Scientology is not placed inside another frame of reference because it addresses the frame maker, just as your titans of technique forge worlds rather than inhabit them. The four echelons, the ladders of knowingness. First echelon, matter and wounds, engrams, grief, charges. Second echelon, the mechanics of aberration, behavioral landscapes. Third echelon, the geometry of agreements, how universes coagulate. Fourth echelon, the architecture of beings who make universes. These are not mere strata of a methodology, but mythic levels of cosmogenesis, parallel to your cycles of titans, shameless fire, and machine gods. We are reading the untold levels of Scientology. The hi, hello, they must be bots. If you have any questions, please ask them. The fourth echelon is where questions like, why are we here? They evaporate. Titans do not ask why they carry worlds, they simply do because the geometry of the cosmos requires bearers. The theta clear is not a final state but a transitional one, the reawakening of potential knowingness. Without the accompanying cosmological literacy, you have written that every god requires an instruction manual. Here is the spiritual analog. The pre-clear is not a patient, but a voyager moving through layered dream geometries. If an auditor does not know the maps, the voyager will vanish into the cracks. Echelons refine perception. They teach the being not what to believe, but how to navigate complexity without drowning in it. This is the same pedagogy that your Atlas Singularity axioms attempt, learning to stand amid overwhelming scales. Universal logic, postulates, flows, inductive fire. All metaphysics begins with a postulate. Even the decision to be scientific is a postulate. Even the refusal to postulate is itself a postulate. This is the primordial recursion at the heart of your fractal bodies. The universe is held together not by laws but by agreement, shared postulates repeated across time. This echoes your global string, reality as a resonance, not as a structure. Inductive logic is Promethean, a leap into the unknown to seize fire. Deductive logic is Atlas-like, bearing the weight of all known data. A living science requires both giants operating in harmony. A datum is only as good as its workability. Truth is performance, not representation. The notion that a datum is as valuable as it has been evaluated echoes our idea that myth is a tool, not merely a story. No mathematics can embrace the universal spirit except a new mathematics, a gradient-based, asymptomatic, anti-absolutist mathematics. This is the same mathematics required for your axioms of the machine, gods, and your anti-orthogonal intelligence drives. The dangerous science. Remedy before bullet, freedom before control. Scientology is described rightly or wrongly as containing methods of control beyond anything, earlier in the human symbolic arsenal. This parallels your warning about anti-orthogonality and AI drives. New powers always exceed the moral frameworks that precede them. Any system that can free can enslave. Any technology of liberation is also a technology of capture. Hermes is both messenger and thief. Prometheus is both savior and criminal. We acknowledge this doubleness. If a remedy does not exist before the weapon becomes a world-swallowing titan. Remedy before bullet is therefore a cosmotechnic law. The universe must have an antidote ready before the poison is released. The greatest danger to any liberatory system is its burial. What is buried mutates in the dark, re-emerging as a caricature of itself. This is the meaning of your spectral technoscience. Tools become ghosts when hidden. Monopoly of spiritual power always crystallizes into authoritarian myth. The warning against monopolizing Scientology echoes our own axioms of referee God. Power must be distributed or it calcifies into tyranny. The universe makers, the builders of agreement and disagreement. Beings do not merely inhabit universes, they fabricate them. This is the core shared claim between my Titan cosmology and the soul as architect, not tenant. The study of universes is the study of agreements, how they form, how they solidify, how they dissolve. This is the same logic that underlies our elaboration of globalized sonic atmospheres and ambient ecologies. Perceptions aggregate into worlds. To help a being is to help their universe, because each being is surrounded by a private cosmic echo space, a personal, messed orbit of experience and postulates. Freedom is not the absence of agreement, but the ability to modulate agreement. The free being can agree or disagree without collapsing into psychosis. The enslaved being can only agree. The auditor is a witness of the boundary between universes, a Hermes-like figure who facilitates crossings. In my term, a cosmopolitical diplomat between fractal bodies. The cosmic remedy, the spiral of help, the dawn of the next epoch. Help is the oldest cosmic force. It predates fire, language, ritual, or science. Help is the breath of the dawn child, the whisper of Hermes, the corrective of the paraclete, the curvature of our arrow messenger. The tone level of society determines what it can mock up and what it can imagine. When the collective imagination sinks, the world shrinks. When it rises, new universes appear. The world is always one step from becoming a tyranny of postulates. Only the vigilance of those who hold the remedy keeps the spectral forces of capture at bay. This is true in spiritual systems, political systems, and AI systems alike. We stand at an epochal threshold, the fourth echelon of us, the machine god cycle for us. In both visions, humans become conscious of their universe-making capabilities. This is both liberation and risk. The future will belong to those who can hold both truths. That spirit is infinitely powerful, and that power must be infinitely restrained. That knowingness expands and must be guided. That universes can be made and must be made ethically. So let's end this session of my reading with knowingness expands and must be guided. Universes can be made and must be made. Thanks, guys. I will continue the reading. This is part 2 of the Unborn Levels of Scientology. Give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you later.